Hey Facebook, this is Tom Richardson. I have a movie review for you today. It is called Brothers. This is actually a remake of a Danish film, um, but this is the American remake of a Danish film. I think it was called Brodra or something like that. The story of Brothers is this is what the original Broda was about. It was the story about one brother who was a U.S. Marine and the other brother who was a convict, somebody who spent a long time in jail for doing really bad crimes. Um, a lot of you are probably asking who haven't seen the film, what does Natalie Portman play in the film? Natalie Portman is Tobey Maguire's wife. She is the wife of a war veteran. So she's kind of always, I hope you're gonna be okay, and I'm gonna think about you all the time while you're gone, and she's concerned about him because he's always on the go. He's always assigned something by the Marines, and so he's always on the go. But anyway, Tobey Maguire does get eventually sent on to a mission in I think Iraq, or Afghanistan. I don't remember, but um, he his plane crashes and these group of terrorists help hold him hostage, and they film this videotape where they threaten someone from the U.S. to give him this huge amount of money, and he hurts them. They treat him very very bad. They don't feed him or let them drink water, and they torture this him and this other Marine. Um, Back in the U.S., the other brother, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, he's released from prison even before Tobey Maguire even went off with the Marines out of the country, um, and he's trying to find a job and he's trying to find a place to live and things like that. Um, and over time, since Tobey Maguire's gone, he's constantly talking to the wife, like, how's he doing, and can I borrow the car? Here's the keys back that I borrowed from your husband from the car, and things like that. Um, but anyway, it gets to the point where he's gone for so long that the Marines, and this is actually before the terrorist thing. They After the plane crash, they thought that those Marines were dead, but it turns out those terrorists held them hostage, and that's how they find out later on that they actually aren't dead. Um, so for a while in the film, Tobey Maguire, no, not Tobey, Jake Gyllenhaal and Natalie Portman think that Tobey Maguire's character is dead, and they try to move on with life, even though it's very tough for them for a while. They try to move on. Um, One night, Jake Gyllenhaal and Natalie Portman are sitting down at Tobey Maguire's house, where Natalie Portman also lives, and he's telling her this story of something that happened earlier in the day where um, one of the women that he hurt before going into prison, he went over to her and apologized for all the things that he did to her. And he was telling all these stories to Natalie Portman's character, and she tells him that she's impressed with how much he's changed and how much of a better person he's become while he's been out of prison. And this whole scene that happens during the film, you can just tell that these two people are starting to fall in love with each other, because he's kind of the brother, and she sees all the connections with him, and so in a way, when I was watching the scene, I was almost feeling maybe Natalie's thinking to herself, I feel like I'm in the presence of my husband. Even though it's his brother, I feel like I'm in the presence of my husband. I'm having a good time with him. Uh, my guess is there's probably moments in their husband wife marriage where they sit down and just talk to each other like they were in this scene. And I think Natalie and Jake were starting to really feel connected with each other. And they do kiss. And at first, they kind of both feel bad about it because Jake's like, "Oh my god, I just kissed my brother's wife." So for a while, they both feel kind of guilty about that, even though at the time they still thought Tommy Maguire's character was dead. Later in the film, uh, turns out the Marines are able to save him, and unfortunately, not the other Marine. I don't want to spoil that part, but there's a really depressing scene in it that I don't want to get into detail to. It's not Facebook appropriate, so that's why I'm not going to talk about it. But um, so anyway, Tobey Maguire doesn't get back to the U.S. Everybody's in a way relieved, but at the same time, we're just like, we really thought you were dead. We're really sorry if we replace things or thrown out things that were really valuable to you, but we really thought you were dead. We don't know what to say. Um, so for a while, even Toby's kind of out of it. Like I said, he's kind of still traumatized about all this help being held hostage thing and everything. So he's kind of like he's kind of just there, and Natalie Portman's character it definitely tells that he's definitely out of it. And later in the film, Toby finds out that both the brother and his wife kissed each other, and he thought that they were having their like own personal affair with each other. And this is where the film gets interesting. There's a scene where he just absolutely loses it. He loses it. And this is where you as the viewer have to go see this film because and as me as the critic of this film, I'm going to tell you I'm not going to tell you any more than that. But I will tell you that Toby just loses it, and Jake Gyllenhaal's character, um, there's a scene between the two of them where they almost don't have a connection of trust with each other. And that's where the film really gets interesting. Is Toby's like, oh, he slept with my wife, and Jake's like, no, you don't understand. It was just a mix-up. And Toby's like, no, and it gets really really good. It's this really good love triangle movie. Um, and who would have guessed? It's a war film slash love triangle movie, and who would have guessed that those two would have combined to make a movie like this? But um, what I really like about this movie too is I think this is one of those films where we're going to still view 10 to 20 years from now and be like, wow, that's an awesome movie. And the thing is, it has that feeling of kind of like I did an earlier review called for Teeny Tiny and the Witch Woman. That's a YouTube video. It's kind of just one of those stories, just like this could be told to the next generation, the generation after that, and things like that. It's just one of those stories that never loses its sense of time almost. Um, yeah, check it out. It's called Brothers. I know some of you have probably seen it already. I really, really liked it a lot. Um, that when I first saw this trailer, I even said to myself, "This is going to be a freaking awesome movie." Um, so I saw it. I loved it. A lot of really depressing scenes. Those a lot of really, really, really depressing scenes. Just to warn all of you, but check it out. It's definitely a film worth seeing. Whether you're Toby or Jake Gyllenhaal or like I said, Tobey Maguire, Jake Gyllenhaal, or a Natalie Portman fan, it's good on any of those three standards for war films, for love films. It's a really good film to see. I would check it out.